welcome back to the Dig to NBA podcast. I'm your host, Lucas Petridis. Joining me this week is the one and only Sean Carroll. Mr. Carroll, my man, how are we?
Yeah, good and yourself, Luke. I was actually going to hit record and then say, let's have a little bit of waffle, and then we'll say welcome to. But that's sick.
Well, I just thought that's pretty much the way it is now.
Yeah, well, fuck, 2 in a row, you know.
Where the hell have you been?
I've been gallivanting across Asia. Mm-hmm. Now I'm back.
That's good.
Do you have any questions?
You were gone for 27 days. Yeah. You missed, was it your favourite part of the NBA news year?
One of the
favourite parts of your NBA news year.
Yeah.
From memory, you were still here for the draft.
Yeah, we did.
That's Foreman, right, Foreman, and then you left soon after.
How
have you felt being away from the mic for 4 weeks?
I was, the year before, I was in Tasmania for the start of free agency as well. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 free agencies in a year I've missed, and every single time I messaged this group chat being like, get a load of this, my good friend Lucas Petridis, Mr. Real LP, would say, you're on holiday, fuck off. I was like, this is Christmas, man. This is the best time of the year. And then I saved a real pearler for when I got back, when Tyus Jones signed with the Suns, who we should probably talk about because we haven't talked about it. Mm-hmm. Tyus Jones signed with the Suns, and it's like, it looks like they're going to be using their room exception on Jonas Valanciunas, and they're going to keep the cap space open, which we thought we were keeping open for Tyus Jones, which means they can sign and trade for players. Well, they can trade for players and absorb them into cap space. And you're like, look, I know you just got back, but shut up, man.
Yeah, this was about my Washington Wizards.
Yeah. It's good, but.
Yeah, good. I know. I'm great. I'm happy about the moves we're making. But what was the day-to-day for you when you were overseas? You're waking up at X AM or are we teetering into the PMs?
No, definitely in the AMers. It changed kind of every day. Like if it was a regular day, like a lot of the Japan days were like 9 AM, like because we're on holiday, you want to sleep in, and it's incredible how rested you feel if you get up at 9 AM every day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, got up at 9 AM most days. Like we had a couple of like really early wake ups for a flight, and like. We went to Angkor Wat, we went to the temple at sunrise, so I had to get up at 4:30.
Good COD map.
Good COD map.
Yep.
Well, fucking there's bullet holes all throughout it, because the Khmer Rouge, which I'm mispronouncing, they got fought back in Cambodia, and they ended up like retreating back into the temple. Just this fucking like heritage listed like temple that was built 1,200 years ago, and they're just fucking shooting bullets at it. They're shooting RPGs at it, and as you walk in the front door, there's bullet holes and RPG holes where someone's just blown ahead of this stone that was carved 1,000 years ago. It's like, fuck, what a fucking shame, man. But yeah, day to day was waking up at 9 AM. Getting a train. The trains are great. I know everyone says that, but the trains are great over there. And you fucking Google just works better over there. Like Google Maps, you'll just be like, I need to get this train to go there, and then you'll see the whole line light up, and it highlights the bit that you need to be on for. Like let's say it's Melbourne Central to Northcote, right? It'll just highlight that. But there's a little dot going around the loop that shows you where the trains are at the time.
My goodness.
So you'll look at it and go, we'll get there in 5 minutes, but then it's like, there's a train, you can just see it moving 10 stops away. So you're like, well, something's coming anyway. And you get on the trains, and there's a train TV, right? It says the next stop's this, we're going to be there in 2 minutes. And then it flicks to another thing that says no service disruptions, or sometimes it says service disruption on another line, and it just keeps you up to date with every disruption. It's so cool.
It seems very easy to implement.
Yeah, it's that's what I took away from it. Another easy to implement thing, when you press the button to cross the road, and you get the green walking man.
That one?
Yeah, over there it goes bing, bing.
Oh yeah.
Bing. That's going to sound great on the mic. The next to the little walking green man is a countdown that says 25, 24. That's so easy to implement, right? And it's like, we're about to cross the road. It's like, can we make it? There's 12 seconds. It's about 10 metres.
That actually might be every country but Australia.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And when will you check in Twitter? X. After you're waking up to see this most recent basketball
I
news?
get the Bleacher Report noty. So
even better.
Every
Just see your home screen.
It's on my home screen.
Straight there.
Yeah.
So you're going, wake up, another day in paradise.
Yeah.
20 Bleacher Report notifications.
Yeah,
the fellas, breakfast.
Yeah.
That's the order?
Well, there's 3 of us, right? And like usually there was only 1 shower, so we're waiting for each of us are waiting for 2 showers. That's when I'm checking all the stuff, message the fellas. Can't believe Jonas Valanciunas starting with the fucking Wizards. Oh, it's my turn in the shower. So, and they don't really do breakfast in Japan. It's just like sort of lunch foods.
Beautiful. I'm so into that.
I just went to every single day I ate breakfast. I just went to 7-Eleven and got an onigiri.
Oh,
if I was extra hungry, I'd get 2. They can shoot me, mate. They're $1. And then just get, little can of coffee. And it's so cool. You can get your can of coffee. If you like milk in it, that's $1.10. If you don't, it's $1.
That is good. Seems pretty straightforward.
It's no fucking around over there.
And did you have one of these nights where people go and just have like what seems like from the other side of the Instagram as a viewer and as someone who's never gone to Japan, 55 beers and like 13 plates to share? Did you do any of those nights? And how much was it?
Well, usually like a plate of sushi with like 3 rolls on it would be like $3 to $4, right? Like we were eating out every single night, and we wouldn't be spending more than like $15 unless you were like drinking heaps with it. It's like a pint of beer was generally $4.
That is actually so depressing.
And you can get a pint in a can for $2.50, and the whole lid rips off. So a little nightcap every now and again. Only human.
Yeah.
I hope that explains why when we went to the pub, I was just on the soda waters.
No, you did need to speak for that. That was going to be my next question.
Everything was just like you would just get like the best ramen you've ever had, and it's like $12 for a bowl. And over there, you can order extra noodles or extra broth, and they'll just like sort of keep an eye on you. It's like, oh, this guy ordered extra noodles, so I've got my noodles. It's polite to slurp over there.
Yeah.
Well, it's not polite. I think it's just like not frowned upon, right?
Yeah, right.
And then they'll be like, oh, that cunt's finished his noodles. He paid the extra $2. Then they just come over and dump extra noodles in your broth as you're going.
And they just know who they know. They know who what.
It's like, this guy's sitting right here. We've left the ticket in front of him. It says extra noodles. Put in the extra noodles. Take the ticket away.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ordering, I'm just telling you about the logistics because I feel like you like this.
Well, I think it's go on.
You walk into a shop. You say konnichiwa. And you go to the little vending machine that's got the whole menu on it. You click, you put in your cash or you tap your card, click. You get tickets for each order. You walk up to them, you give them the tickets, and then they say, oh, cool, you ordered a ramen and you ordered a beer. Sit down, and then they give you your food. So you don't ask them anything. You just go to the vending machine.
True.
And then you sit down and they're like, cool, thanks. We didn't have to touch any money. Money's already taken care of. They're not like taking their gloves off and then prepping the food and stuff. Just nice.
Yeah, a bit of consideration there.
And it's like very English friendly because like there's Japan's having like a boom where there's like 200,000 Aussies in Japan at the moment, like for the past couple of months. So they've just always got on all these machines it just says like in English recommended dish. So it's like sick.
There you go.
These are the 3 dishes while you come to this restaurant. Bang.
So when you get to that ordering screen, do they have like 5 different flags with 5 different languages?
No, it's not a screen. It's not a touch screen. It's like literal buttons with a photo on it, like that they've printed off from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's buttons.
Real life buttons.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But then you got back on last Friday. I ended up being Saturday because of a little bit of a flight delay. Yeah. And then for some reason you were really weird and you got a soda water at the pub where we watched the Australian Opal's first game of the Olympics. Pretty disappointing, that one.
Yeah.
Marco and I have hashed that out.
Yeah.
But what was it like to be watching a game of basketball live again after 27 long days?
Yeah, I guess it was 27 long days for you. Oh, were you watching the summer league?
I was keeping myself occupied.
Yeah. I guess there was the Olympic warm-ups as well.
And the W.
We started that game so well. We started like the Opals. We were just saying, this is why we're going to win. It's like Ezzy's like posting up a smaller person sick, just turn around, put it in there. Like it's just so simple. You're like, oh my God, Jade Melbourne's starting the game. I don't know if that's the right choice, but if you're going to do it, it's going to be against this team where it's a winnable game. She had like her first 2 minutes like sick, and they started playing the press, and then that chick just kept hitting the threes. What was her name?
Kalu.
Just kept hitting the threes, and then it's like, oh fuck. And then you guys hashed this out on the dub, but like I was explaining it to housemate of the program, Doc. And he loves tennis, right? I'm like, in tennis terms, it was like 90% unforced errors. We were just passing the ball right into their head. Like, he's like, there's no silver lining to be taken from this. Like, and I was messaging my friend Alana, she lives in Germany. and she just drove over to fucking Lille, and she watched America versus South Sudan yesterday, and she's going to watch the Opals tonight.
No shit.
No, yes, no.
She watched the US versus South Sudan.
Yeah. She bought the tickets before the teams were announced, and then just struck gold.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would have been so good.
And like the tickets scale with who's playing and stuff. So like she just played a flat fee to
Which
get
one
in.
do you know how much it was?
I don't know how much. I know that to watch. It's 50 euros to watch the two women's games with Australia, Canada, and whoever is on the double header.
Yeah.
So 50 euros for the two games.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have to imagine it would be more for Team USA America. You know.
Yeah.
Team USA America.
Yeah. Big one.
So she's gone over there, and I'm like, hey, this is how we went in the fucking first game. Pretty fucking disappointing, but I'm like, if there is a silver lining to take from it. Sandy Bradella was ropeable, as reported by Marco Holden Jeffrey. Maybe she's going to convert that
ropeability,
ropeableness into just giving him the biggest fucking spray ever. And hopefully they come out just like all guns firing. But not great on the Opal side of things.
Yeah, but the Boomers side of things. That Spain game. How did you feel going into the Spain game? Did you think you were going to win so handily?
No, not at all. I was super negative about the Boomers, and as I think we all were.
I was for sure.
Yeah, it's the fucking not picking Tybull, which definitely came to kick us in the butt against Canada. But against Spain, it's like, man, Josh Giddey he's the first guy in basketball history to on your opening Olympic basketball game to have 17, 8 and 8 since Drazen Petrovic.
Wow,
how's that for a stat? Rest in power. That's you're in rarefied air there.
Yeah.
But Giddey, I was saying while watching, fuck, Giddey can't hit threes. How are we going to build around this? We don't really have there's Dyson Daniels. It's like he's not the best shooter. Obviously playing two bigs who are quite ground bound. But it's the line's just closer, and Josh Giddey is just a little bit easier for him. So of course in his worst game of the tournament, he's 3 or 7 from 3, which is so fun. You're happy with that. So it's Giddey hits his first 2 threes. Spain starts going at it anymore. He's a great passer. He knows how to get around fucking 39-year-old defenders, and the game's just wide open. What do you think? Did you expect us to win that much against an aging Spain team?
No, I didn't think we were going to win against Spain. I thought. And I didn't think we'd come close to Canada, but I feel like the Canada first half was probably the best. I think that first half against Canada was better than any 2-quarter patch against Spain. I think my main reservations have been about, the selection of the team. And also, I feel like in previous competitions, the whole offense has been about how do we get Patty Mills the ball, how do we get him the ball flying off screens. And this year, it feels as though that is just one part of the offense, and there's we go to it once every 6 or 7 plays rather than every single play, and we run plays for other players as well, which that seems to work for the benefit of the whole team when it's not all just going through one guy. I had a lot of reservations about Brian Goorjian, the coach, and I think I was right to have those up until this tournament. But I think that we're giving the competition our best shot. I think that this is the most we've maximised what we have on the court as the Boomers. Last Olympics that ended up in a podium finish. The field's a lot better now. I don't think we'll end up on the podium, but it's at the very least it's entertaining to watch, and it doesn't feel like we're leaving anything out there.
Yeah. I also had the same reservations about Goorjian, and I was actually saying he should be fired, because not picking Tybull, he definitely had a say in that. He's part of the decision makers there. Not picking Tybull, but then just always resting on the old guys, not really putting a healthy ecosystem around our best player in Josh Giddey, who can't shoot. It's let's focus on making Josh Giddey work, because if he doesn't work, then what the fuck's our basketball team, right? But I think he's definitely he's definitely silenced me this tournament. If we lose to Greece tomorrow and we get knocked out of the tournament, which isn't 100%, but let's say we lose tomorrow and we're out, or maybe we make the playoffs, let's say, and then lose in the first game. I think it's actually still fine, because he's played a really tight rotation, and I've actually been really happy with how good his rotation has been, and if something's not working, he's like, okay, I'm just not going to stick with it. Where in the past, it's been like, Dante Exum has been the guy that we've mentioned where it's like, oh fuck, stop playing Dante Exum. Like he's not doing a good job. And this year is good, but it's not like he's leaning too much on Dante Exum. Like he's not in love with one player, and I think it's quite the opposite. Where if something's not working, he does actually go away from it. And on the Paddy front, like, I want to work on an article for the deep2.com. Can't believe it's that simple, because like Paddy, like he might not touch the ball every single possession, but he's running all the time, and defenses just zeroed in. You know, like this is his 5th Olympics, right? Like they know what he can do, and he's just running and running and running. And it's like he just never stops moving, even though when he does get the ball, he's got an excellent defender on him, and it's really hard for him to get a shot off. And he's done a good job at, like, I think both games he's drawn a 3-shot foul, which is like pretty cool. Like I think it's actually very repeatable because he's getting hounded. He's a small guy. He's fading in the air, and it's easy to draw fouls that way. And he's done a good job. But like he's the only guy who can take and sort of make tough shots. So you've seen Dustin Daniels do it like every now and again when the shot clock's counting down, but you don't really want to rely on that. But like Paddy, he's going to shoot bad. We're going to go on Instagram. The NBL official Instagram page is going to post a video with a quote from Andrew Bogut where he's like, Paddy needs to play better. It's like Paddy's shooting over Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dylan Brooks. And by him just continually shooting, continually taking the shots that he takes to keep the defenders on him, he's opening up the game for what kind of is our bread and butter, which is like Josh Giddey / Dyson Daniels pick and roll with Jock Landale, who's leading the team in scoring.
How good has he been, man?
So good.
I don't know why.
He's actually just no bullshit. Like
he's so good. He's so opportunistic. I think he's you got to work to get in the ball. He's not like the type of player that'll get your basket like 99% of centers ever. But he just makes the once he's inside the key, he makes the most of it. He battles. He's so handy to have. He would be like such a pleasure to play with for the rest of the team. He just takes care of the middle of the court.
And his little seals right under the basket, like he just doesn't miss them, which is like incredible.
Anytime he has someone on his back.
Also, so many. Can I just say he is committing so many offensive and defensive fouls, and but it's awesome. It's like he fully understands the FIBA rules. Where it's like there was one where Andrew Nembhard dribbled the ball and then like put his shoulder into a defender, but then the ball dribbled off his toe, right? And then he's like, but hang on, like this guy fouled me, and then the FIBA refs are like, well, you dribbled off your toe. I don't really care. Jock Landale's doing that, and then you could hear it. There was this one play where he's posting up. It's like Trey Lyles or like Kelly Olynyk or one of them, right? He's posting him up, and you can hear is Jordi Fernandez yelling on the mic, where he's like, "Watch the elbows, watch the elbows," and then he just Landale just absolutely elbows him, clears him out of the way, and puts a layup up. And then like they watch in replay, and the commentator, single commentator, I should say, that's crazy. That's happening. But the commentator's like, "Oh, he might have gotten away with an offensive foul," but you look at it, and there's actually no angle for the refs to see him do that because you can see the ref in the background, and the other ref is too high up, and he's got 3-4 other players to watch. It's just like, when did he turn into this like sneaky vet that knows exactly what to do?
Yeah, do you reckon Ime's licking his lips thinking about what he's going to do with him next year? And also, Dylan Brooks and Jock Landale, NBA teammates.
And they hugged after the game.
Yeah, I was just like...
You full forget, hey?
You full forget when those two specific people are on different sides. You're like, oh, these two definitely
are going to fight.
Our opponents.
These
guys aren't teammates.
Well, he posted him up once, and Dill Pickle did that stupid thing where he puts his arms right up, but also right in your face.
Yeah.
And Landale like hooked his arm, and the refs just didn't call it. It was so good.
Yeah.
Like they're walking each other out, holding arms, and the refs are like, "This is stupid. Someone else is dribbling the ball." Yeah.
A point you touched on. Is that Gorge has figured out his rotation early in the tournament, which is going to just help us down the stretch. I think that's the case. It's nice that he's made those decisions, and I think that was stark contrast to the Opals, where Brondello went 11 deep in the first 7 minutes or something. And I think that'd be my only note. Moving forward for the Opals is that you're going to have to make the tough decision to not play a few players, and you need to know, as Sandy Brondello, who's coached so many different combinations of this team, that you can trust 9 of them, and pretty much everyone will be like, I think everyone will maybe be like, oh, you should have played that player instead of that player, but I think, before they say that, they'll be like, oh, you can only play one. You know, I think I'd be happy if she picked the, you know, quote unquote 9 least talented players on the roster to go against Nigeria. I think we would have had a better chance than if we were to, like, you know, figure out the rotation in the middle of the game. But I'm enjoying watching the Boomers.
Yeah, it's the most fun I've ever had watching the Boomers.
Definitely. So the Canada game, we lost by 10 points. Do you reckon that's where we are? Do you reckon we're 10 points worse than Canada?
Is Canada a silver medalist this year?
Are they? I think they could be a podium team.
I think they're definitely. I think it's a question of silver and bronze. Like,
yeah, okay.
What are they, second favourites to win gold, or is like them, Germany, Serbia? Yeah.
Serbia doesn't seem to be too preoccupied about winning.
Yeah, their best 2 players are centres. One of them is the rookie Filip Petrusev. I mean, Micic is good. Yeah, it's Germany, Canada, France. Fuck yeah.
I haven't seen a single French game.
Yeah, well, they went to overtime against Japan, and then all you saw was the screenshots of how tall Wembanyama was. It's like, hold on a minute, you went to overtime against Japan?
Is Rui playing?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
And Yuta Watanabe, and there's another one, Hugh Watanabe is also playing. I don't know if no relation.
Hugh Jackman Watanabe.
That's what the Hugh stands for. I think they're the second best team in the tournament, especially because in the second half of the Canada game, they just stopped playing Dwight Powell and Kelly Olynyk, and it was just Kem Birch.
Yeah.
And it's like, Kem Birch isn't winning you the game, but he's just like a solid human being that's better than Dwight Powell. I think Dwight Powell is a net negative basketballer in every form of the game.
Kem Birch is like 70% of Jock Landale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. You got to just make the call. You have to play a player and let them get into a rhythm, which ended up working for them in the end. And also, fuck, man, this Canada team is so good. The fact Jamal Murray is just coming off the bench.
He also he does not know how to play. I'm just Googling Hugh Watanabe. No relation. Okay, I've confirmed no relation.
Okay.
Yeah, Murray does not know how to play without a whistle. It's insane.
Yeah, I like that take.
I reckon if he averages 4 points in these elimination games, I would not be surprised.
No shit.
And they're just going to be like, oh, he had an injury. It's like, I don't care, man. He was looking at the refs a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's like, he was the second guard off the bench. Nemhard came up first. Which is, yeah.
Must say a lot. Or unless he's still carrying some sort of an injury. Or if he's just like, you don't have to play me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here for the experience.
Well,
like if I can be your fourth guard, I'm happy with that role.
Maybe it's that. And it's like, you know, I talked about Nemhard bouncing the ball off his foot. It's like this is one Olympics, right? These guys are all going to come back in 4 years, and they're going to have that under their belt. And there's going to be another World Cup where it's like they understand the FIBA rules. Like Jock Landale. It's been 2 Olympics, and he's like, oh, cool, I can just hit people. That's sick. Shay's still good, but Shay translates. That's pretty fucked, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like whenever he does his like mid-range step backs and stuff, I don't expect him to do it. I feel like that's like a uniquely NBA move that he has. Yeah. And then when he pulls it in FIBA, it's like, oh, you can. That's the same. That's the same distance from the rim. Yeah. Doesn't matter what D you're being faced with. I'm Googling here Jock Landale, born 25th of October, which is nearly my birthday.
The day before.
Yeah, but when it's his birthday in the United States, we'll be celebrating at the same time. But he played for Partizan as well in 2018 and 19, which would have been...
That'll do it.
Yeah, well, genuinely, that would have gotten him accustomed to FIBA rules, but like, they're the crazy one. They're like the crazy Serbia team that like always have like flares for 3 hours before the games and shit.
Yeah. Which is crazy for an indoor sport.
Yeah, it has to be some form of a health risk. Were we talking about that time he went on that podcast and he just like told stories of his career? Man, so I have no idea where that podcast's from. I just saw clips of it. So entertaining the way he spoke through everything.
Yeah. I was watching it with my friend Josh, and he's like, you know, give me the rundown for like all these boomers. I'm like, well, point guards are nonce. we've got these two vets that, you know, they've carried us in the past, being Jingle and Joe Ingles and Paddy Mills, but they're sort of in the twilights of their career. And I'm like, oh, now our centre's also one of our best players. He's like, oh, the blonde one? I'm like, yeah, he's just a lovely guy. And he's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, he's really rough, but he's just lovely. And he's like, oh, cool. And I'm like, I feel like that's a great way to describe it.
No, yeah, I fully endorse what you said.
He had this when he signed with the Rockets. It was like $7 million a year, right? He like had this. There was a recording where he's video called his dad, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, I just signed a contract, $32 million, partially non-guaranteed." And the dad's like, "Oh well, I guess bloody drinks on you next time you're in town." And it was so like, that's clearly not the first time you FaceTimed him. I don't really want to see this. We don't need to manufacture this moment. It's like, yes, I understand. Someone like us has made $7 million. But yeah, that was a bit. That was the only knock I've got on him, and it's probably not even his.
No, it wouldn't have been
it's
him
just
at
a
all.
PR team.
He had in this pod. He had this bit at the start of the during the episode when he's talking about when he first moved to Houston, and he was in this playing this preseason game with the Rockets, and he was on the court with Chris Paul, and they went on this run. And then he got like pulled, and they were like just played someone else. And then Chris Paul was like, "Hey, Jock, how much do you want?" And then he was like, at the time he was like, "I'm like 1.1 mil." And then Chris Paul was like, "Yeah, let's change that," which would have just felt so good. Like Chris Paul of all people, who can just like feed him the ball whenever, and then you know drinks around him with Dad in Corio next time he's in town.
Is he from Corio? Where's that?
That's around the bay, Corio Bay, Geelong.
Yeah,
Geelong, out Geelong way.
They sell you on they sell you on lifestyle up there. What do you think about Joe Ingles and Daly being coach players, but they really put the coach in coach players?
Yeah, good. I've read the run sheet. I like the take. It's a good take, and I think this is, you know.
Let's read the tape, because listeners haven't. That's what
you said. Joe Ingles and Daly are coach players, but they put the coach in coach players.
Yeah, but do we need two? Do we need two coach players?
It works pending health, and so far we've had good health. You know, no one's gotten any nicks or bruises, and yes, I think it's going to work so long as we have good health.
Right. Yeah, it's just like with Daly, you could say put him in like. Don't put him in a suit, put him in like a full warm-up kit and have him just be like a developmental coach.
Or like a coach, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember there was an article in The Athletic that talked about the OGs of the league. It's like the Taj Gibsons, the Udonis Haslem, James Johnson, and it's like apparently their voice just loses like almost all weight as soon as they're part of the front office. But there's some like actual tangible stuff to having guys in a uniform, warming up, playing with you, and like bumping you in practice. Yeah. That like front offices just can't quantify, but they know that there is a quantity there.
Well, isn't it because they're like in practice with them every day, and they've been doing it for 15 years, and they're like, you know, they set the standard and they know the standard.
They're lifting weights and shit.
Yeah, they're still training. They're still like keeping themselves, ready to go.
Yeah.
James Comey LeBron said this after a championship when he was talking about
this is the older one,
Jared Dudley, and he was like, dude, that 13th roster spot is so important because when they see that guy who's not going to get any minutes coming in and training harder than anyone, then it just raises the standard of the rest of the team.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, I just can't believe Marquise Morris does that for Dallas. He has to be leaving early, like last one in the gym, first one out. Like, I completely respect the 13th roster spot, but not Marquise Morris.
I'm happy to again endorse that take.
But they made the finals, and it's like as soon as Luke is bitching at the refs, Marquise Morris comes out and is like, "I got this," and just like swears at the refs for him. He does that part well.
Yeah. How do you feel about the double coach?
Yeah, just have one.
Okay.
Just have one. Also, let's just see if Joe Ingles can play 5 minutes. Like Nick Kay's playing a lot of minutes. Can we cut down some Nick Kay? Maybe.
You're not in love with the Nick Kay minutes?
No. I like the McVeigh minutes and I like the Magnay minutes.
I like the McVeigh minutes. Yeah.
And I'd love to see more Joe Reith, but I understand he's in that like early jock process where it's like, hey, first Olympics, we're going to sort of bubble wrap.
Wait, wasn't he at the other Olympics?
He might have been at the World Cup.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I like that. I mean, I don't like that. I sort of give him a go, but yeah, Magnay over him, whatever. But yeah, Nick Kay just hasn't really been an impact. Like, McVeigh is taking and making hard shots. Magnay is being a strong body out there and he's getting rebounds. I don't really know what Nick Kay's bringing because we're not closing with him. We're starting and not closing with him, which is like, why is he in the starting lineup if we're picking other players over him to close?
Because who's the rest of the starting line? He fits well with the starting lineup.
I know, but
I guess you wouldn't mind some more shooting.
Yeah, and like because Giddy can slide down to the 3, especially because it's a shorter league, like international. You can play. You can like Giddy can defend threes.
Even McVeigh, I feel like they put him in the like whenever there's free throws and he's on the court, he's boxing out usually. Yeah.
Jumping jack.
Jumping jack, yeah. And then that'd help with the space. Do we have a? How do you feel about our chances against Greece?
I think we're going to win because Giannis against Spain. Did you watch the second quarter? He didn't score a single point.
Yeah, he had like 15 in the first, and then they put everything. They were like, there was one guy's responsibility was to just hug him the whole time,
which is so cool that you can do that in FIBA. But I was I think Giannis is going to score another 30 burger on us. But it's like. I can't believe we just went a quarter without scoring, which makes me think like, oh, maybe this is doable because if Spain can do it, who a defense that we just absolutely obliterated. I also like how shorter line Giannis hasn't been tempted to take threes, which is like it's so cool. He's also got a little bit of Jamal Murray in him where it's like, oh, I didn't get a foul call for that. I just barreled my way into someone. It's like, no, you did start the contact, so that if you finish it, like honestly, sometimes with these like barreling in moves, I actually think if he made the basket, they might call a foul. But if he doesn't, they don't call it. Yeah. Which again, love FIBA refs.
Yeah, he was going toe to toe with Santi Aldama the rest of the time as well.
Yeah, I hate Santi Aldama. I hate this whole Spanish roster. Just the whole Spanish roster sucks.
We can speak about Willy Hernan Gomez and the Willy Hernan Gomez rule.
Yeah, you can.
So. There was I'm on the mailing list for FIBA. As you know, I've covered a few events, and they send out these operations things. And I actually got this this brief. There's a new rule where if Willy Hernan Gomez is involved in the play and the whistle blows, it's always in favour of him. Which through 2 games of the Olympics I don't think that's ever been wrong. I think that's been the case every single time, and it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
In a rule set and competition that has such fair rules and so well designed and everything, I feel like he actually gets like preferential treatment.
He must have dirt. On one of the fucking coaches. Can you name the 3 teams Willy Hernan Gomez played for in the NBA?
Was one of them one of them was the Pelicans.
Yep.
Was one of them, the bloody mecca of basketball, New York Knicks?
It was his first one.
Yeah. And then was the other one in between those 2, after or before?
It was in between. Only one more team in between. By the way, he's 30.
That checks out. Can I give you a few teams?
Yeah.
Minnesota?
This is
Denver?
This
Toronto.
is the team. No, this is the team he played the most seasons for. He played. Says here 2.5.
Atlanta?
No.
Where is it?
It is Charlotte.
No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder. True. I don't think I would have gotten that, but not because of him, because of them.
Do you think we're going to beat Greece?
Look, it's a win-win for me, isn't it? Forget about it.
You're actually the second Greek bloke I've spoken to in the last 24 hours who said that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we are united. Greece united.
Your jersey's pretty sick, the Hellas.
The Giannis one?
Yeah. The Giannis jersey.
Yeah, I don't have the Nick Calathis jersey.
You don't have the Papa Nikolaou?
Yeah.
Yours Papianos?
Yeah, neither of those. Larentzakis.
What about
Thomas Walker? Yeah. Oh, so did you see Shea's Instagram post after the game against Greece?
No.
It was like something spot up, but when I do this, I just walk up, and then everyone was like, "Yo, Shea's so cold." It's just so cringe. It's just like Shea would be the perfect basketball player if it wasn't for his online presence.
Yeah. Have you and all the fans have been getting like, have you seen all those fans that are like just talking about just complimenting him too much. I think it's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, right.
Where it's like he had like an underwear
Glazing.
commercial. Yeah, underwear commercial with Calvin Klein. The comment section is just horrible, but in like the wrong way that you would usually see on social media. Like Jalen Brunson posted a photo with his wife, like happy like 1 year anniversary or something. All these Knicks fans are like, "I love you more than her." Just so strange.
That's funny. How do you feel we'll go against Greece? Oh, I didn't say
we're gonna
mine.
win,
Yeah, I think we're going to win. Yeah, as well.
Well, this will be out soon, and if you're listening to it after Greece, enjoy.
But wait, before we go to a break and then to the news, Opals versus Canada tonight.
Yeah,
For the third edition of Australia versus Canada basketball in 48 hours. First, of course, being NBA men's. And then second, of course, being 3x3. The Kangaroos got killed by Canada as well. But how do you feel we'll go against Canada?
I think the only way we can win is if there is that ropeable coach just laying into him, shortening a rotation and saying, don't fuck around. But what was it like? Yeah, you said it. It was like Tolo and LJ just had like 2 turnovers combined, but then it was just unforced errors by the guards.
Imagine an LJ had 13 and 17 minutes, one of them each, and then they had 1 turnover each. Tolo had like 3 or 4 minutes and had 0 turnovers. But yeah, I think we just need to cut down the rotation. We do have heaps more size than them, so hopefully we can make the most of that. I feel like we didn't really get anything easy going on the inside against Nigeria when we should have, or at least started to play in the post and just see what develops from there. But yeah, I think we need to use our hard to our advantage this game. Stop making stupid mistakes and shorten the rotation.
Yeah, who are Canada's bigs? I can only think of like small players.
Well, all their good players are small. Yeah. They got Alia Edwards, who was playing at UConn last year.
No.
I'm
thinking of Aaliyah Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. She was playing. She was at one of the teams that made the Final Four last year.
Yeah.
She's okay. Kayla Alexander is just like super smart vet, but other than that, I don't think they have any WNBA players. Like Natalia Chonwa, but she's not like 4 sized. They play her at the 4, but you want her at the 3. I think Kia Nurse is like a guard 3. Bridget Carlton's like a guard 3, and some of these players have to scale up to the 4 because they're so small.
Right. So all their juices in the guards, and we've got good guard defenders, and we got Tolo in the middle.
Yeah.
So it should be custom built, because like we just couldn't when like apart from that very first post up, Ezzy just couldn't get anything going, and LJ just didn't hit anything. Yeah,
Ezzy should have just run around her opponent just every single play for like until they did something about it. And even Alana Smith is capable of doing the same thing. Yeah. That game was awful.
yeah, the rare double sig game. All right, let's take a break and come back.
You want to talk WNBA? Maybe some WNBL? Australian Opals chat? Heck, even dabble in some EuroLeague? Find the W Basketball Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
And we're back. I probably should have written that down before we did, so 36.2. News.
Plenty of it.
Only 2 bits news, and then we'll get into my favourite parts about the off-season. First of all, Jared Allen and the Cleveland Cavaliers agreed to a 3-year, $91 million extension coming from Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. This is extending on his current contract, so his full deal is now at 5 years for $131 million for the near all-star all-star player. Donovan Mitchell also re-signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers, or extended. And he said after he signed that he doesn't want Jared Allen to be traded and he likes playing with him, which might have been a bit of an issue for a team whose name rhymes with the Shmoo and Schmellikins, because they might have actually had something teed up to get Jared Allen, because he was one of the guys that were being talked about traded. But then Donovan Mitchell said, no, I like him as a friend and he likes playing with him. What do you think about giving Jared Allen a type of bag?
A type of bag. His first deal, was it 100 over 5? I think it was 20 per year.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Over either 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then what's this? This is now 30 each year, starting in a few years' time. Probably the 30 is. I think 20 is like, if you can get Jared Allen on that money, you're happy.
Yeah.
The 30 starts to get on the other side of that, but I think it's fine.
It's fine.
I just don't think this. what's going to change about the Cavs that we haven't learned and seen over the past few seasons, and like what since the end of last season to and through this free agency, why is Donovan Mitchell coming out and talking all like this, and like why are people making it seem as though they got something going?
Yeah.
Like what's there's no vibe there. I feel like that's quite clear.
Yeah, there's no way that they like take a leap into like the top tier of the East. Like, I think they're very much locked in, and I think the Cavs are happy. Like, you know, they hadn't made the playoffs for since like '96 before LeBron got there, and then they finally just made the playoffs without LeBron. I think they're happy just like maybe winning a series for the next 5 years, or Donovan Mitchell signed for 3 more years, didn't you? So let's say he requests a trade 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I think they're happy just making the playoffs for 4 straight years, including the past 2.
Yeah.
And then, we couldn't keep him, but we tried really hard.
Yeah.
I think that's just, some teams like to do that.
Yeah, that's what the mid franchises do.
Yeah.
So you've got it here as a talking point. Mobley's best position might be at the 5 in a few years. And now they have to decide if that few is over or under 3. Do you? So you don't see Mobley and Allen working?
I do, but I think like your question was like, how can they like get to that next tier? How can they like go anywhere out of where the fuck they are right now? And I think if you trade Jared Allen and bring in, it's hard to say bring in like let's say they bring in OG Anunoby, right? As you he's getting older and he's like more of a 4. OG Anunoby as your 3-4, Max Strus, capable defender at the 3. You've got the 2 guards, and then if Mobley can be like a Jaren Jackson Jr. like defender at the 5, like not get bullied around because he's put on a bit of weight, but has like enough of a post game to like be passable in there on offense and just like stretch the floor. That's sort of how I see this team going beyond, because I don't know if a team with Jared Allen as their best player, as their best center, is going to really go far. I think that is just topping out as like a good Eastern Conference playoff team, where it's like, if you're a ground-bound center who isn't creative on offense, if you're not Rudy Gobert on defense, like there's actually not much, like it's hard to really go past what the ceiling of this Cavs team could be. And maybe Evan Mobley can be like that Rudy Gobert guy on defense, or if he's not, he can do a little bit more on offense, and then you've got a lot more flexibility, and then all of a sudden it's like this incredible offense that you've got. That's what I think. So it's like, are they just locking themselves into not trying Mobley at the 5? I don't know, but this is all very hypothetical, because Mobley's had the chance to like step up the last 3 years and he hasn't.
I think that's where I stand on Mobley as well. It's like, it is all very hypothetical, and there's like so many ifs, ands, or buts, but it's like, all right, surely we would have seen him.
Can you pull your mic up?
How's that?
Hold on. All right,
we're back. My views on Mobley, as we said before the break. Like we would have seen a sign. We would have seen like
more than 16
move.
Points. Yeah.
Like there would have been one play in this time where you're like, like Mobley like got the ball at the elbow and like jabbed middle, and then like put the ball around his back, and then like spun in the lane and had a layup.
Yeah, like when you shut your eyes and I say Evan Mobley 2 points, what like your brain's just blank.
Yeah.
But if I say like Jaren Jackson 3-point shot, or like weird step up 2 points, and it's like a weird step through layup and stuff, you can picture that. Maybe because I told you what it was, but you know
like
what I mean?
like Evan Mobley 2-point basket made. I feel like I imagine 4 missed mid ranges first, and then I see this like this layup or this finish that a guard created, rather than him taking it upon himself.
Yeah, which is also why you keep Jared Allen, because you shut your eyes and say Jared Allen 2 points, you're like, wow, he just like dunked a lot, or he got the offense. It's like, because he's a good basketball player.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean to put him down, but I think they are capping their ceiling by having him there. But it's such a like 0-100 take that, because it's like, wow, you're capping your ceiling because you might not be able to win a title with Jared Allen as your center. But then also, like, if he's in let's say you swapped out Gaff and Lively for Jared Allen, I think the Dallas Mavericks still make the finals.
Do you reckon it gets them another finals win?
Nah.
Okay.
I think it's just that archetype of player on this team. I don't know. I don't know. I'm having that's a bit of a hard conversation. Maybe because we're gonna have a lot of time in the off season. Maybe I should write about that. Just because I don't know what the hell. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I'll put it on the short list from now then.
Put it on the shorties.
Luke Kennard
signs
Luke Kennard. Grizzlies agree to why do you do it that way?
What do you mean?
You do 1/11 million. Well, actually, there you've got $1/11. I do 11/1.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's the way the division lines up. Anyway, Luke Kennard is agreed with the Grizzlies on an $11 million deal that will last 1 year season. This is much of a muchness.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But because of the salary dump of Zai Williams to the Nets 1 week ago, this move puts the Memphis Grizzlies just about $600,000 below the first apron, which means they're not going to be a tax team this year, which will keep their flexibility open for the following off season where they can trade Marcus Smart's expiring contract. Brendan Clark's going to have 2 more years at the end of his deal, and then it's like, that'll be their move to go get what Zai Williams should have been. Or they can also do that mid-season, but this they've got a full roster. They're locking themselves into this is the team. Also, Scottie Pippen Jr. is on a 2-way, and it looks like he's going to be the primary backup point guard. So he's going to play half the season. They're going to waive someone and extend him, put him on like a regular NBA contract around about the All-Star break. So someone's getting waived, and I think their name rhymes with Schmerick Schmoes, unless he's the OG.
Schmerick Schmoes.
Derrick Rose.
Oh my god.
That was an easy one.
Well, I completely forgot he was on that team.
Yeah.
I knew he was on it, but I thought he might have no longer been on it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Grizzlies? Are you vibing out to the Memphis Grizzlies? Or are you like, nah, they're probably on the decline already?
Well, I mean, they had the gap year where they replenished their talent, drafting Zach Edey.
Where they reloaded their gun.
That's a good one. They got Zach Edey, who, he's like second in Rookie of the Year or first in Rookie of the Year.
No shit, he's also second in height.
because he had those good summer league games before getting injured. I don't think Zach Edey's going to be great, especially not in playoff basketball. I think maybe in the regular season he might be like an innings eater, but let's compare him to like Jakob Poeltl. I think Jakob Poeltl's a way better basketball player, and they're going to be doing similar things. It's like, okay, let's say John Morant is what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was this year. That's sick. Jaren Jackson Jr. definitely explored the studio space this past season because he was the only healthy / non-shooting guy on the team. Desmond Bain coming back from an injury. Still don't really have a 3. Marcus Smart was injured last year. He was supposed to be their 3 and backup point guard. But I do like that they actually reloaded the gun. Like, I do like that they gave JJ Jackson like some real minutes, and he looked like a real player. Against Scottie Pippen Jr., who's first team all summer league.
Sure.
2 triple doubles. 1 near triple double in the final that they lost to the Heat.
Hang the banner.
Did you know I travelled while this was going on?
1 near triple double.
He looks like a good backup point guard. And there was one other guy who it's like Vince Williams Jr. Yeah, right. He's just a dude. Maybe he tops out at like Justin Holiday as opposed to. Well, that's probably the medium Holiday brother. I think. I don't know. I think they're going to be a playoff team, not a play-in team. What do you think?
Okay. I think I gotta see how this bloody East shakes out, this West shakes out. But I feel like they're probably going to be a play-in team. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't feel great about them. I feel like they are these 2 moves. I feel like they are the Grizzlies of the Cavs West, and the Cavs of the Grizzlies East. Just in terms of like.
So you reckon they're done?
No, not done. No. Just this team doesn't make me feel like. I'm not like, the Grizzlies want to play with each other.
Yeah,
it doesn't they don't make me feel like that. Like, they're not like the teams at the top end of each conference are teams that want to play with each other.
Yeah,
and I just don't. I think they're the rung below that.
Yeah, so I guess locks for playoffs. OKC, maybe Denver. Is that maybe like a question?
Nah, they got to make it.
All right. So OKC, Denver, Mini, Dallas. Although they hate the regular season, that's 4 teams. And then there's 2 more spots to go to the Lakers, the Clippers, the Suns, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Grizzlies.
I think the Suns, after the Tyus Jones move.
They actually had a good off-season with no flexibility.
Yeah,
and they got
true.
Mike Budenholzer.
True, yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
I don't know who that 6th spot goes to off the dome.
What about the Warriors?
I still don't know. So potentially, maybe they make it to there. But then, that's why I would say play-in.
Yeah. And the Spurs, at least for half the season, are going to be trying with Chris Paul and Wemby and all the young dudes to see if anything happens. Yeah, the Jazz are always going to be good at the start of the year. They're going to start 3-1. We're going to be like, oh, and then they're going to tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, 5 days until Larry Markkinen can sign a contract extension.
There you go. Let's keep an eye on that. Sean, do you want to move on to your talking points for the fun stuff that you're away for?
Yeah. These are things that I quickly came out with that I'm like, I just want to talk about them.
All right, so what would be your favourite move?
Good question, Luke. Probably, I'd say Caruso and Hartenstein for OKC.
Yeah.
It's just the best. Like, they got rid of Josh Giddey, who's playing great for the Boomers, but they got rid of Josh Giddey and Gordon Hayward, and they brought in Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And they've got a year of playoff experience under their belt. You know, we were talking on pods last year saying should they like make a move for OG or like Larry Markkinen, but now it's like you don't even have to. Like, I think this is a complete team, but they also still have the flexibility to, like, because they didn't give up any picks in this.
Yeah, true. I think the Caruso move is crazy in terms of the Thunder's starting lineup and what they need. Do you reckon he starts?
I think there'll be a playoff game where he starts, but I don't think he starts in the regular season.
Okay.
I think it's like Isaiah Joe still.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I would say Caruso will probably start over Isaiah Joe. Personally, I think so.
I just don't think there's a role for Isaiah Joe on the bench, but I think Caruso is more than happy. And also, you got to bubble wrap him a bit. You got to only play him 20 minutes.
True.
But in the playoffs, he'll play 39.
Yeah. But I just think the move from the Thunder to just turn the worst defender in the league into the best defender in the league is not something that we should be ignoring.
Yeah. And like rebounding issues, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
Hartenstein also, when he won the MVP in the G League, he was also, he had like a bit of a 3-point shot. And then he got to New York and Tibbs was like, bigs can't fucking shoot threes. And he just never did, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't really with the Clippers either. So maybe it's like, what if he takes like 2 threes a night?
Or just pops out.
Yeah.
Takes an elbow jumper.
Like, Mark Daigneault is not afraid to like flip the positions, as we've seen from various YouTube videos and just watching him play. And they've got Chet, so maybe they can run a very similar like play style with Chet on and off, as opposed to having JW. Actually, J Will. J Will hits threes as well. So I think. Yeah, and like Hartenstein, like their biggest issue is rebounding, and you could just simply move Chet Holmgren if you so desired. And Hartenstein's just a bigger rebounder. He had like 16 in that playoff game with the Knicks, and got himself a lot of money in that playoff series. Yeah,
definitely. Do you have a worse move?
Good question. I'm scared that the Wolves are getting cheap. So there's obviously the crazy ownership stuff that's been going on. And they let Monty Morris, Kyle Anderson, and Jordan McLaughlin walk in free agency. And it's like, yeah, those dudes don't really matter. Like, Kyle Anderson was like a 25-minute-a-night game. Monty Morris, great regular season guy, but he probably doesn't have a role in any playoff series. But, like, it's just not a great sign that you could have kept these guys and you didn't. And, like, that's a lot of creation, and they brought in PJ Dozier and Joe Ingles. They obviously drafted Rob Dillingham, but I don't expect PJ Dozier and Joe Ingles to do anything, right? Like PJ Dozier, who's the Tim Connolly? Tim Connolly's just obsessed with him for some reason. Like he always kept a roster spot for him in Denver until the last minute when it's okay, he's torn his ACL. He didn't play much the year before. You're going to have to do something to that roster spot. And now he's brought him back. He's played a couple of years in Europe, and now he's brought him back into the NBA. Maybe he's got dirt on him, I don't know. And Joe Ingles, like, he's not playing at FIBA, which is like, he's not playing for Australia. Oof, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to play in the NBA. And it's just like, they just could have kept these guys, and they gave up multiple second-round picks. Yeah, not very valuable, but they gave up multiple second-round picks for Monty Morris. And you got half a season of Monty Morris, and he played 5 minutes in the conference finals. That's again like, that's a bit of poor like asset management. So I'm just worried that this is the start of the downfall for a team that looks like they could make multiple Western Conference Finals trips,
and a team that should be on the way up, should be in the middle of their ascension. And it's a lot of eggs in the Rob Dillingham basket. Yeah,
I actually kind of feel bad for Rob Dillingham. And then I saw him like doing Vox Pops, and he was like interviewing people for the NBA Instagram app. I was like, oh, he's actually fine. He seems fine.
Cool.
But it is a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Got any interesting tidbits?
You skipped my overpay.
No,
but what do you
come back to that.
What do you think about worst move? Do you reckon that's the worst move?
I think it's the like, why are you doing this situation? And then it's also on the back of the year where Glenn Taylor didn't want to continue to hand over the sale of the team to A-Rod, and the bald guy. So I just think it's like probably I can't imagine who like the other bad moves in the league, but I think in terms of the situation that they're in, them and Denver, it's like Denver, why are you not retaining KCP? Who's going to be your starting two? Mini why, like, you know, are you? I feel like you're kind of telling us that you're happy to just be a second round playoff team or a conference finalist, and you don't want to retain those guys that really helped. Because like your depth was one of your strengths in the playoffs, and you don't want to keep some of those depth guys. I think Kyle Anderson's the biggest loss of that. Like as you said, 25 minutes in the playoffs. It's like so many players you want to have playing that role, and neither of them are PJ Dozier or Joe Ingles. So I would say I wouldn't have like worst move, but I'd have like what are you doing situations.
And even though they replaced it with Rob Dillingham's guard size, like he's 6'3" or 6'4" or whatever. Kyle Anderson at least can play the 4 capably, and he's strong. All right, interesting tidbit. New York traded for all these Nova guys, and that's cool. And they've got a group chat, and it was very funny. And they, did you know they played in college together? But what if a better move comes on the table? And I guess you just gave up 4 picks for a dude. But what if something better comes along, and you're like, oh, we can trade for, I don't know, let's say Alex Caruso, who was available. Let's say you'd prefer to have Alex Caruso. Are you allowed to trade Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, or like, heaven forbid, Mikal Bridges? Are you allowed to trade those guys? Because Brunson just took a discount to be there. And he's like, he's, I would say a little bit as like, thank you for assembling this great team around me with all my friends. I'm taking a discount. For what it's worth, it looks like OG Anunoby just ate up all of that discount in an overpay, which is quite funny. But can you like now trade those Nova guys if it doesn't work? Because what if you just win 49 games next year, right? Which might happen. I don't think it will, but it might happen. And it's like, oh, we're actually like sort of stuck in a bit of mediocrity. We need to shake things up. But then all these dudes are in a group chat, and then it's like, are you going to alienate them? Is Brunson going to be like, hey, I gave up $100 million for this? And then OG's just sitting there eating caviar every day of his life. I feel like, I don't feel like it's that imminent though. I feel like they have years, I feel like, each of them on their contracts, and then also they're like none of them are really close to the end of their primes. No, I don't expect it. But what if it just happens? Like shit happens, Like,
shit does happen. I wouldn't mind the Nova Knicks being, broken up before they were formed. But so who are the Nova guys? Is
I don't mean
one of them?
Yeah, he is. I don't mean before they were formed. I just mean like What are the trade deadline if something comes up?
That would be interesting. Also. Dante DiVincenzo was also Villanova. So 4 of them were Villanova. I thought it was 3.
No, that's 4.
That's crazy.
Dante's in the group chat and stuff.
This elusive group chat.
Also on that team, Eric Paschal.
Oh, huge! The missing
free
piece.
agent.
I haven't really thought about that one.
It's just that's why
I would trade him if that's what you're asking.
You know what? That's why it's my interesting tidbit.
If the right move came along, I would like not even hesitate to trade them.
Cool.
You can't ride the Nova Knicks thing forever.
They were just college friends.
Overpay of the offseason?
2 firsts, Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance for DeJounte Murray, while also keeping CJ Bingers and no center. It's like, it's fine if you want DeJounte Murray to be your starting point guard. I think he can be a starting point guard in a very good team. But like, he loves a lot of dribbling, and like, he makes mid-ranges at a really high level. So does Brandon Ingram. CJ McCollum has moved more into a three-point shooter, but that is CJ's bread and butter. You've got 3 dudes that all like to operate in the mid-range next to Zion Williamson, who can only operate in the paint, and you don't have a center. That's a lot of assets on ball handlers in the mid-range.
When was the last time we talked about this exact problem for the Pelicans?
Forever. And they've just brought one in, and they gave up 2 firsts, whatever, they might be bad firsts, like, let's say it's Milwaukee and or LA, they're still playoff teams. But on the other side, and, we don't have to keep banging the Pels drum, because I kind of feel bad at the end. It's like, like, stop, she's dead. The theory, I heard someone was like, someone must have got this from like Atlanta Hawks PR, but like, they're trying to build a team that is switch like 4.5 positions. So it's like Trae Young is your offensive hub who's bad on defense, and they've just accepted that. But every other position is there to make up for him. So they're going to have Dyson, who can guard both guard positions, maybe even slide to the 3. The guy they drafted, Trevor Ariza, to Zachary Ricochet, can guard 1 through 4, maybe 2, 3, 4. They've got Onyeka Okongwu, who's a 5 who can like get out in a pick and roll and guard the guy up there, and Jalen Johnson, who can guard 1 through 5, maybe 2 through 5.
Untouchable Jalen.
Yeah, it's actually like, if it works, it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah, yeah, but like I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah,
like you're asking a lot out of Dyson Daniels
and Onyeka Okongwu
and Trevor Ariza too.
Yeah, but like the theory, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, true, but like how many times has the theory been pretty cool in Atlanta?
Yeah, the theory's been really cool in Atlanta.
So
48 minutes of point guard play.
Yeah, there was that one. Before that, there was, this is DeAndre Hunter's year to be like a triple All-Star, and then
he's going to get 3 All-Stars in 1 year. He actually couldn't do. It's crazy. He couldn't do what Damari Carroll could.
Yeah. True, but yeah, there's enough. We've seen enough permutations of the Hawks being like, this is the one that's going to work with Trae, and it's like, all right, let's maybe pump the brakes on that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't have any more questions for your off season.
Yeah, there's one.
And the iPad's about to die.
There's one final move.
So should we just wrap it up there?
So the move that nobody is talking about, Lucas.
I tried, listener. I tried a less.
Terry Stotts to the Golden State Warriors. We've needed a veteran voice since Elvin Gentry moved to the New Orleans Pelicans. Kenny Atkins more of a young kick up your bum coach. We need a leader in the locker room. And we got him. Like we needed it because the year after Big Jim was drafted, we went young. We got the Mahala J. Mahada, the Toronto Raptors development coach, who cashed out at Golden State and went fucking back to Toronto. And we also got Jerry Stackhouse. Why are you shutting your laptop? We're still fucking podcasting.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to go that hard at that. Like, I didn't expect that to be the full take. But lo and behold, it is.
Yeah, it's a serious take.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I listen to too many Warriors pods, but yeah. What do you think about the Warriors off season? Buddy Hield?
I thought it was incredible. I thought it was really good. Why?
Buddy Hield isn't a playoff player.
D'Anthony Melton?
Yeah, but he had a back injury after 20 games last year, and they're like, oh, he'll be back in a week, pardon the pun, and then he missed the rest of the year.
Kyle Anderson?
Yeah, I don't know, 25 minutes in the playoffs.
All right. Klay Thompson?
Yeah.
Now draft those 4 players. And where does Klay Thompson go?
All time or next season?
This upcoming season.
Yeah, I think it's Kyle, Melton, Buddy, Klay.
Yeah. Terry Stotts.
Jerry Stackhouse.
And you would expect, surely, how many, was it Draymond like set the record for games missed due to suspension this season or something?
Did he?
Well, didn't he miss like 2 huge patches first? He chokeholded Rudy.
That was sick. And then he punched Yusuf Nurkic.
Wait, did he punch Jordan Poole this most previous offseason or the one before?
The one before.
This bloke's a problem child.
Can I say, we traded Jordan Poole to your Washington Wizards for Chris Paul, and then waived Chris Paul after a year, and we gave you 1 pick, and now you've got 3 years of max contract Jordan Poole. There's got to be some credit there.
Yeah, I mean,
that's incredible.
Do you reckon Jordan Poole can be rerouted?
Hello, Sean here. We just finished up a pod. We were halfway through a chat about can Jordan Poole be rerouted in another team? Can he get his value back? But you probably don't want to hear that, and our mic stuffed up. So we're just going to end the pod here. We'll make a little joke that it's a natural conclusion. I think that's what everyone wants. So thank you for listening. Sure. I'm just doing a little solo close. Is that all right?
I know.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything to the people while we got you?
Thanks for listening, listener, and welcome back to Sean.
Yeah. Also, buy hoodies. Buy hoodies, still available. Send us a message if you want to buy a hoodie. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Peace.
This episode of The Deep 2 is presented by Gelateria Bico, the official gelato of The Deep 2. Gelateria Bico, handmade gelato in the heart of Brunswick.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show is your fortnightly dose of the lighter side of basketball, hosted by me, Marco.
And me, Lucas. We take a more laid-back approach, talking about the NBA, the WNBA, FIBA basketball, culture, whatever tickles our fancy or grinds our gears.
The show is filled with great guests, classic gags, and a healthy dose of tangents in honour of the great man himself.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show, fortnightly on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
Loves just talking about the league, certain things like that.